A lot of times sellers will take you off course. And I think the real skill comes from how can you bring them back?
Which I think is what a really good script does, right? Like they're going to take you wherever they want to take you in terms of that conversation, because their objective, if they're willing to dialogue with you, is just to have a dialogue. Whereas your objective is the appointment, which means you're asking the questions that bring it back anytime they pull you off.
Yeah.
That is what a really great script does. And I actually don't know of a better way than the questions that you ask. Welcome back to the REDX channel, everybody. My name is Tyler Fenn. I'm here with Kent Brown. You get us again this week, so we're grateful that you're here. The reality is prospecting and lead generation don't have to be complicated. We're going to try to uncomplicate some of that for you here today. And Kent is certainly a master at this. Let's talk about scripts, Kent.
Let's do it.
Tell me what makes a really good prospecting script and what makes a really bad prospecting script. Let's start with what makes a really good prospecting script.
Really good questions, question base that's going to lead a seller to an end result.
Okay, tell me.
And that end result would be an appointment to meet with you to talk about listing their home.
Okay, so there has to be an objective to the script.
Yes.
And the objective is what? An
in-person meeting.
Okay.
For a phone script.
Okay, so let's break it down then a little bit further, because what are good questions that you use in your prospecting to move forward? And just so that people know who you are that are watching this, you are somebody that has nearly 350 career transactions in just a few short years, and 90% of those have come from prospecting, circle prospecting, expireds, for rent by owners. Those three primarily, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so take a guess. How many prospecting calls do you think you've made?
Calls or conversations?
Calls.
Ooh, calls.
Millions. You have to be into the millions.
Probably. Well, let me think.
At least 1 million.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Just calls.
The amount.
Conversations a lot less.
Because you prospect 2 to 3 hours every week, really consistently.
Yeah. So let's say it's 400 calls a day, 250 days a year. What's that? 100,000 calls a year?
Yeah. Okay. So you're probably coming close to 1 million prospecting calls. Okay. So 1 million prospecting calls. This is a guy who's been in it for a minute.
That rhymed.
That did rhyme. What questions do you ask that you feel like make your script really, really good?
I was raised in the Mike Ferry tree of things. So we were always taught, when you sell, where are you going to next? How soon do you need to be there? What's taking you there? You know, what did your agent do that you like best? What do you feel like they should have done better? And those are just questions that it was like almost automatic to ask and lead the conversation towards that objective. Because a lot of times sellers will take you off course. And I think the real skill comes from how can you bring them back?
Which I think is what a really good script does, right? Like if you're going to go to the effort and the struggle of making prospecting calls, which nobody loves to do, right? Nobody loves to make those prospecting calls. But if you're going to go to the effort and the struggle to do that, number one, you've got to have a clear objective, which those prospecting calls, especially for something like expireds and for sale by owners. And I mean, the goal is a listing appointment. That's the goal. And people want to talk about, if they're willing to dialogue with you, they want to talk about their dog's cousin's uncle's last wedding that didn't go well. And that meant that they ended up in this house. And I mean, they want to talk and have a conversation, and they're going to take you wherever they want to take you in terms of that conversation, because their objective, if they're willing to dialogue with you, is just to have a dialogue. Whereas your objective is the appointment, which means you're asking the questions that bring it back anytime they pull you off.
Yeah.
That is what a really great script does. And I actually don't know of a better way than the questions that you ask, which is when you move, where are you planning to move to, and what's important about that place, and when do you need to be there? because that gives context for the entire transaction. They
Yeah.
want to move to St. George because they're going to take care of their elderly parents, and they need to be there by the end of summer.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you have all of the context. If you don't set an appointment right then and there, your follow-up becomes meaningful. Your communication from your database becomes meaningful, and you're not spinning your wheels by dropping people into marketing that just says the same thing to them as it does to everybody else.
Yeah. The thing I've noticed with a good script is it gets motivated people to talk to you, and it gets unmotivated people off the phone quicker.
Okay, say that one more time.
Gets motivated people to talk to you and have a conversation because you're asking the right questions.
Okay.
But it gets unmotivated people off the phone quicker.
So why don't you try to convince those unmotivated people?
Because you can't motivate someone that's not motivated. Like, I can't convince you to move to Kentucky right now.
No. I mean, Kentucky's beautiful, but no.
Yeah, right? Like, you're not motivated to move, so you're not going to. And I would rather know that quicker in the conversation than later on.
So here's what I see a lot is I see a lot of people will try to convince, or oftentimes people will, I mean, you and I are in front of agents often, and often the questions come in that are like, well, this person said they decided not to sell because their job offer was rescinded. So how do I convince them, or what should I say to set the appointment? And I love that you define it so specifically that you're like, look, a good script gets those people off the phone. My job is not to turn dirt to gold. It's to find the gold amongst the dirt. That's why it's called prospecting.
Yeah.
And I don't know of a better prospector that does that than you. It's just a volume game. Mm-hmm. You just know that you're looking for the people that are close to a transaction and people that you can help and that you want to help.
Yeah.
It means you get to be really selective with who you work with.
Yeah, I think in making all the calls, like when I first started prospecting, rapport building's huge in sales, but I think salespeople look at rapport as like, I need to be really friendly with this person, mm-hmm. but rapport is solving a problem that they have. So I need to first diagnose the problem, and then I can help you solve that problem. And that's how you build rapport. Somebody that's lonely, which I get, you talk to a lot of lonely people on the phone that just want to talk about, just blab to you, which is great. Like, you can listen to them for a little bit, but if you are really pressing and like, okay, man, I'm so sorry to hear about your dog that died. That's crazy. I am curious. So, I mean, when you had your house listed, where were you going to next? Like, I acknowledge that whatever happened to them in their life, but then I'm asking the next question because I want them to know the purpose of the phone call is to progress the conversation forward, not for me to make a new friend. No offense.
What do you think some of the biggest mistakes that people make? What are some of the biggest mistakes that agents make when either choosing or practicing a script? Because I believe you've got to make like 5,000 phone calls with a script before you can determine whether or not that script works.
Yeah.
And so often people don't give it enough time. But what other mistakes do you see agents make when selecting a script or vetting a script or practicing a script? What are some of the pitfalls that you see often?
Self-promotion is a big one.
Okay, so help me understand what you mean.
So, hey, Tyler, I was calling because I know I can get your house sold. I've sold a lot of houses. We know exactly how to sell homes. We have the best marketing plan. And they're just like, never ask a question about that person and what their goal is. And they're always just on the self-promotion cycle. Yeah. Then it's defend your position. A lot of times when you do that, it's like, well, what makes you better than my last agent? Well, we have a really proactive 20-point marketing plan that we use. At the end of the day, their last agent might have had that as well. So it's really just asking a better question of, Tyler, I'm not sure that I'm better than your last agent. I didn't interview them. You did, which is exactly why I want to get together with you. And at the end of the day, you're going to be the one to make that call, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
Whether absolutely. Or not I'm different.
Sure.
So, and if I say all of the same things, and at the end of the day, you're not comfortable and confident that I can get your home sold, you don't have to hire me, do you?
Correct.
In fact, you probably won't hire me.
Correct.
So if we got together for 15 minutes, say this afternoon or tomorrow, which one would be easier for you?
I mean, it'd probably be this afternoon, realistically.
Yeah. So I think a bad script puts you against the ropes a lot, where it's just like, I don't know. All I know, Tyler, is that we follow a plan, and we've done that plan for 30 other sellers. I would love to put that in front of you, see if you think it's the right fit for you at this time. And if it's not,
yeah, I think when it comes, here's what I hear when you're explaining all of this, and it makes tons of sense. Oftentimes, especially if people are new to a script and they haven't quite internalized it yet, and they haven't really learned that that a script works, often they revert back to what they know.
Yeah.
And they know their personal stats, they know what they do. But then it does end up being a self-promoting conversation rather than, like you said earlier, that true solve their problem, identify their need, and determine whether or not you can actually help them to get to where they want to be. And to me, it comes down to the fact that we have to practice the scripts, both in the live setting on the calls, but we have to practice the scripts in role play, in front of the mirror, with your AI bot in the car. Well, it doesn't matter what it is, but we have to practice the scripts because knowing the script really well and internalizing it is what prevents you from reverting back to here's what I do and here's why I do it well.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is never a great way to set an appointment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you do general contractors work.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going out and contracting, an electrician, a plumber, can they all pretty much get you the same result?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, can one person or one company make that result a lot harder to get than the other?
Yes.
So what makes you hire a plumber or an electrician or a handyman over someone else? It's communication. It's, are you reliable? And can I trust that you're going to get the job done?
Yeah.
Same thing with real estate agents. Like if a plumber came to you and said, I have this really great tool that bends pipes and is going to get the job done 10 times quicker, but I really suck at communication and I'll show up when I show up, we're probably like, yeah, thanks.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of real estate agents, the sizzle does sell the steak, but at the end of the day, it comes down to a few things that are going to help get the home sold. Because it doesn't matter how good a marketing plan is, how good an agent is. If the house is overpriced, is the house going to sell?
No.
If photos are terrible, are people going to come in and look at it?
Not likely.
Yeah. So there's few things that an agent truly does that move the needle. But I think the confidence that you're going to be good at communicating goes a long way with people.
Yeah. There's something else that you said. We were doing this short little role play, and it's the part where you ask for the appointment, and you do it so well, better than most agents that I have seen prospect. And I hope that everybody who wants to close lots of appointments on their prospecting calls does what you do, because it's so natural. And it doesn't mean that you're trying to convince people. It doesn't mean that you're trying to sell them on something. It doesn't mean that you're trying to like overcome an objection and then close the deal. It's this simple line that you use where you go, well, that's exactly why it makes sense for us to sit down.
Yeah.
And I've heard you use it in an infinite number of scenarios. I've heard you get cussed out. Be like, oh, some guy cussing you out, lots of $5 cuss words, and all you agents are the same. One time I heard a guy insult you saying that you couldn't read because you'd mispronounced his name. And you were like, well, that's exactly why I think it makes sense for us to sit down. Right? And it was like, and that particular call, you actually ended up taking that listing a few days later. And it's such a great reminder that the objective of the call is to still set the appointment, which means a great script also has to ask for the appointment. And
early and often.
Early and often. I like that. It should ask for the appointment early and it should ask for it often. And I think what a lot of agents do is they wait until they feel like they've built the conversation to a point where they can ask for it. And I actually think that hurts their close rate as opposed to right out of the gate early saying whether you state it as clearly or not, but going, my intention is to meet with you at your home to determine whether or not I'm the right person to get it sold.
Yeah.
Well, Kent, thank you as always.
Yeah.
For
It's a good
taking time out of a
conversation.
busy day. Super, super helpful. And the reality is, I think that people watch this channel because they want to learn. And anytime you're on here, I think people learn. So thanks for doing that. If you want to uncomplicate your prospecting, if you want lead generation to be made easier, then keep coming back to this channel again and again and again. Check out our website, redx.com. That's always a really good place to go. But until next time, we'll see you next time.